I finally completed my IKEA toy kitchen makeover. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know I have been trying to get this done for a while. I am so happy with the results, so pleased I did it, and I cannot wait for my daughter to play with it and love it. I managed to flip it from the original IKEA design to this. I promised I would make a detailed video about how I did it, how I got there, so I'm going to talk through the whole process, all the things I needed to buy, all the tools I needed, every step that I took, including the cost, so that if you want to take on this project yourself, you've got a little bit of a roadmap to get there. And all of the products that I mentioned in this video I will list in the description box with links if I can link to them. As you're watching this video, if you are finding it helpful or inspirational, then please do give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. The original IKEA Duktig is not cute. I know so many people have that in their houses as it is, and I'm happy for you. I really am. I just didn't want to look at it as it was all day, every day in my house. To buy brand new, they are £95. The ones that are currently available on IKEA look like this. So red and glossy, just so far away from what I wanted it to look like. And then on the flip side of that, if you do want to go down the route of buying quite an aesthetic kitchen off the shelf, you're looking at paying upwards of 150, 200, 300 pounds. Like genuinely, some out there are nearly 500 pounds. And that just blows my mind. And again, that is not happening, because as much as I love this finished kitchen, knowing that it was done within a small budget is going to make me feel so much better when my child is bashing it about and treating it with zero respect. Upcycling also meant that I got to keep my costs low where possible. I was finding things in the local scrap store. You could also look in charity shops, things like the knobs, hooks, the S hooks on my hanging rail. All of those things I found in scrap shop for literally pence, and that meant that the cost of accessorizing a lot of the kitchen was kept really low. I found my IKEA Duktig kitchen on Facebook Marketplace. I paid around £15 for it. The reason I say around is because I actually picked up quite a few different things, including an old doll's house, a kitchen, a couple of other little bits, and I paid £30 for the job lot. I was keeping an eye out on Facebook Marketplace for a long time, and they go really quickly. I messaged so many people and had them respond and say, I'm really sorry, this has just been collected. So they do go quick. Get it set up on your notifications if you want one, and you can get them for like 10, 15, 20 pounds depending on the state that they come to you in. The first thing I did was took apart the top section. So the top is removable from the base. I took apart the top section, which is the microwave and shelf bit, and then I did a few repairs on some bits of the wood around the microwave that had got cracked, and the cracks were quite visible. So I just filled them in with wood glue, clamped them together, and then I started to sand down all the wood panels. I decided to sand the majority of my kitchen and then just paint a few of the panels, like the doors and the microwave. I really like the light beige of the wood when you strip off the tan glossy layer, and also for me that was a time saver and a cost saver, because it meant that I didn't have to paint the entire kitchen, which would have meant taking it all apart really if you want to do a good job. And also I was able to buy less of the paint because I was only painting the panels and the microwave. The next thing I did was to have a look at the sink. I was experimenting with some rub and buff on the bottom of the sink, but I found that it scratched too easily, and that is something that I'm a little bit wary of with the sink. I still don't really know how it's going to wear and tear. I decided to sand it really well, so make sure that it had a really kind of rough surface for the paint to adhere to. And then I used the Edding spray paint in cream matte white, and I used 3 coats of that to make sure that the colour was uniform and nice and even. And then I used 3 coats of Rust-Oleum crystal clear top coat. And I think the top coat is definitely key. I wouldn't even attempt to do this without a top coat. I'm hoping that with 3 coats it's going to hold up, but we'll see. The next step was taking off the tap and the stove top from the main part of the kitchen and sanding down all those wood panels. I sprayed the tap, the stove top, the hanging rail, the S hooks, some of the hooks that I bought from the scrap store that I was going to attach to the sides of the kitchen. I sprayed all of those with a Plasticoat spray in the colour brass. I bought this from Hobbycraft. This spray paint had quite good coverage on the plastic. I was able to do it in pretty much 1 coat, and then I added again 3 coats of the Rust-Oleum crystal clear just to lock it all in place, and fingers crossed it will stand the test of time. I removed the doors, had the microwave and the side panels from taking apart the top section, and also the interior shelves of the oven and cupboard. I cleaned all of those with sugar soap, gave them a really light sand, and then used frog tape to mark off the glass panels. And the paint that I decided to use was the Frenchic Lazy Range in Nougat, however you say that word, and the Frenchic small chalk brush. This brush is so good for applying these paints, by the way. If you don't have one, I would highly recommend. This paint is just perfect for this kind of thing. You don't need to prime, it's prime and paint in one. It goes on really nicely. After 1 coat it was still super streaky. After 2 coats there were still a few patches showing through, and then after 3 coats the coverage was perfection. And you only need to leave about 30 minutes between coats as well, which means that you can really just get on with the job at hand. You haven't got to wait for like 12 hours before you reapply the next layer. I also then went over all of my painted sections with the French Chic finishing coat, and I used this on the bare wood that I'd sanded back of the remainder of the kitchen as well. And again, that is another French Chic product that is super easy to use. You literally just wipe it on with a dish sponge, or at least that's what I do, and it works. It's great. It means it's wipeable, seals it, perfecto. When I was spray painting everything, I had also spray painted the original handles and stovetop, but when I compared them, which I'll show you in a second, I decided I didn't really love the overall effect. I spray painted these handles, and to be honest, I didn't ever want to keep these handles. I just don't like the shape of them, the bulkiness, but I thought, okay, while I'm spray painting those other bits gold, I'll spray paint these and see how I feel. I just don't love it. What do you think? I'm not a fan of these handles at all. I think what I would quite like to get is just some wood that I can cut into strips and pop on as like blocks. And then my other dilemma is that I spray painted the stovetop. It's fine, like looks better than the dark grey. I put new batteries in it and it's definitely broken. Oh no, hang on. Hello, that one works. I mean, that's not really that exciting, is it? Let's be honest. 6 AA batteries in there as well, which is an unholy amount of batteries, IKEA. Because this isn't really functioning, I'm considering replacing it altogether. Black and the red is just, it's not a vibe. For that, which actually doesn't even work consistently, I just don't think it's worth keeping it. If I'd stopped on the project there and decided I was fine with that stovetop and I didn't want to change anything about it, then the whole project would have cost me £58, including the kitchen. But if I were to minus things that I could use again from that price, so things like the paints, the paintbrush, my sprays, then it would have cost me about £25. Not bad, if you ask me. But me being me, I didn't like the stovetop, I didn't like those handles, I wanted to change them, so this is what I did. I went back to the scrap store and I found a long piece of wood that I could use for the handles of the door. I found the perfect piece of wood and they charged me 10p. I felt like I was winning at life. I cut the handles out of that wood and I cut a length of 15 centimeters for the oven and the cupboard, and then I cut a length of 13 centimeters for the microwave door. These are just the dimensions that looked good to me visually when I was kind of planning it out. But the holes themselves are 13 centimeters apart, so you would at least want to cover that. Or you could do what I did with the microwave door, which is to go back, fill in the holes with wood filler. It was annoying because obviously I'd already painted them, so I had to fill them, sand them, and then paint over those sections again. But to be honest, it was fine. It didn't even need to look perfect because a lot of that area was going to be covered with the wooden handle. And then I just attached those with wood glue, so that was how I did the handles. For the hob, I used a piece of MDF, which luckily I already had a bit of MDF in my garage. I just cut out a piece which I want to say was 20 by 35. I'll double check and write it on the screen if it's different. So I cut that out, painted it with the French Chic paint, attached that from the bottom. I decided I wanted to have a sunk hob. You could also do it on top if you wanted to. Just experiment with both looks and see which you prefer. I attached the MDF from the bottom with wood glue and a few screws just to bolt it into place. I got some plain wooden coasters and mini lolly sticks from Hobbycraft. I coloured in each mini lolly stick with a pro marker. I got that in Hobbycraft as well. It's in the colour Sienna, and coloured in my lolly sticks, placed those onto the coasters to resemble a hob, and then stuck 2 of them onto the MDF sheet. And then if you can see the countertop, you'll notice that where the original stovetop was had caused the wood to fade, and so it was quite noticeably lighter than the other wood, even though I had sanded the other wood down. So what I decided to do is to use some very thin wooden batons from Hobbycraft, and I painted those in the French Chic, and I just made a border that kind of camouflaged the place where the wood went from really light to just the regular colour. And I'm actually really glad that I did that because I feel like it just adds another little dimension and bit of detail to that stovetop. It looks cute. And then out of that same wood, I also made a tiny little button-like thing just to complete the look of the stove. After that, it was time to just wood glue on all of my attachments. So I placed 2 hooks on one side of the kitchen, and then I had a 3rd hook which I just put on the other side for like a tea towel or something. I attached the 2 wooden knobs to the front to look like oven knobs, and then it was time to just rebuild everything. So I put the top back on, screwed it back into place, put the shelves into the cupboard and the oven, and then reattached the doors. And I used a little bit of wood glue and then the screws back into the tap to make sure that that was fixed properly. And the final step, arguably the most fun, was dressing the kitchen, because let's be honest, my toddler would have played with the kitchen if I'd just given her the Billy Basic, boring IKEA version. I did this for me. let's just be real. So I bought some Hessian bags from Hobbycraft and I attached some yarn, which again was from the scrap store, didn't cost very much, to create 2 loops on the side of the bag. I filled that bag with all of the fresh produce, so like her fruits, her veggies. Some of these are whole, some of them are Velcro, and some of them are magnetic. I've got them in various places. I will put everything in the description box. And I used the yarn loops that I'd made to attach these to the 2 hooks on the side of the kitchen. I've seen a few of these kitchen makeovers and storage ideas where food groups are quite separated, and I just didn't want to make it too complicated for myself, because I know the reality is at the end of the day when she's gone to bed, it's going to be me that's tidying this all up. So I wanted to make it as easy as possible for myself. So I really liked these big open Hessian bags because I can just chuck everything back in and make it look relatively tidy. I put the remaining food into the cupboard. Some of this went in crates. These wooden crates are actually from Melissa and Doug. They come with one of the wooden toy food sets that I got. Also popped all of her spare utensils into this net drawstring bag, which I got from Tiger, and I've also got this retro biscuit set which I love, it's super cute, and I popped that in there as well. I got some little Velcro eggs. I decided to add some speckles onto my white eggs with the same pro marker that I used to colour in the lolly sticks on the hob. I just did lots of dots and dashes and patted my finger over it to kind of spread it out and give that speckled effect. And then I also have these little Dutch scales, which again I painted with some of the French chic paint. It definitely looks better than the original colours. This was all kind of sea greeny, dark blue in places. This isn't completely finished for me. I feel like I need to get rid of the last little bits of sea green. It just ties in more nicely with the overall effect of the kitchen, I feel. And again, that is another step that is busy as hell. You don't need to do that, but I just wanted to. And also this random little tea towel. Can't remember where that came from. That is it. That was my IKEA kitchen makeover from start to finish. Everything that I did, and actually I feel like the process was fairly straightforward. There was minimal painting, minimal tools needed. Really all it took was time and patience and a little bit of planning. So do let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Have you attempted a project like this yourself? Are you going to? Has this inspired you to? I hope it's helped if you are feeling inspired. And the only thing now is for her to have it and play with it and hopefully love it. Thank you so much for watching. Do give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and I will catch you next time. Bye!